What's good, y'all, and welcome back to HOUR480p. This video is an hour-long compilation of the funniest moments from the Johnny Depp v Amber Heard trial. We went ahead and put together the best moments we could find on YouTube. We've linked the original creators in the description. Without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this video and enjoy our commentary throughout the video.
And then you went in the house and saw Mr. Depp in the foyer, correct?
Yes, correct.
And Mr. Depp was trying to urinate in the foyer, wasn't he?
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
No.
Mr. Depp had his penis out of his pants, didn't he?
I think I would remember
Relevance.
seeing Mr. Depp penis.
I'll allow it. Next question.
And you were trying to get Mr. Depp out of the house, correct?
I am harassed, humiliated, threatened every single day. Even just walking into this courtroom, sitting here in front of the world, having the worst parts of my life, things I've lived through. People want to put my baby in the microwave. And they tell me that Johnny threatened, promised me.
Suddenly, there was a terrible roar all around us, and the sky was full of what looked like huge bats, all swooping and screeching and diving around the car. And a voice was screaming, "Holy Jesus, where are these goddamn animals?"
Mr. Depp, if you could please take a look at the stack of articles in front of you.
Yes, it's a stack of hit pieces.
Yes, the first one is called
generated with City Team.
Mr. Depp, we're going to try to get through this as quickly as possible.
I'm just
I'm going to ask you
stating
about
what
the
they are,
first
sir.
one. Well, we're going to talk about them. The first one is entitled, is from The Guardian. Do you see that? An article entitled, "Where Did It All Go Wrong for Johnny Depp? After a string of flops and a ton of bad press, Johnny Depp's star power looks as wobbly as Jack Sparrow on a plank." Did I read that right?
You read that very, very well.
The next one, Hollywood Reporter, May 20.
Thank you, Your Honor. Will you please tell the jury your full name?
Temperamentalist. Thank you, appreciate that. Nice plug for my book, too, thank you.
Didn't hear it, but there we go. And IPV doesn't appear in your CV at all.
If you say it's not in my CV, I will believe you.
What the hell is even that?
You know whether Marlon Brando used an earpiece?
Isn't he dead?
Yeah.
So the answer is no, he does not use one now.
Oh, no, I used the past tense. So.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Your
What
Honor,
Sean Bailey said.
this is about him
It's in
learning
an
about this.
article.
It's not.
It is the truth. She's
If
asking.
you want to approach.
Please explain to the jury who Sean Bailey is. I think you were starting to.
Yes, I'll try again.
Objection, hearsay.
Mr. Depp, where was Sean Bailey quoted, without getting into what he was quoted as saying?
Objection, hearsay.
A mega pint. The
We'll just take a look at the next
accusations that she
exhibit, Mr.
brought.
Depp.
I'm sorry, I was talking. Is that all right?
You had answered my question. We'll take a look at the next exhibit. Thank you.
yeah. As long as you're happy, sir.
Anyway, I Johnny became upset with me for judging him. He was, you know, he said some disgusting things to me. I don't know if I need to repeat it.
Okay, let's go. Michelle, can you bring up Defendant's Exhibit 1090? Don't tell us what the co-star said. Just tell us what your communication was with Mr. Depp.
Objection, hearsay. Her communications are hearsay.
People could invite me to a concert in a platonic way. I tried to say that it was fine.
Objection, hearsay.
Do I have that redaction, or is that something you need to give me?
I think we're going to need to give it to you a hard copy.
All right,
Right.
thank
Thank
you.
you, Your Honor. And if
I found out that he was in a hotel room with Paul
Objection, hearsay.
move forward, because
When he came home, they had to carry him home.
Objection, hearsay.
Did you see them?
I
carry
watched
him?
it.
Okay. Did you have any contact with Lily Rose that led to any discussions with Mr. Depp?
Objection, leading.
What, if any, communications did you have with Lily Rose in November 2013?
Objection, calls her hearsay, leading.
What, if any, interaction did you have with Lily Rose without saying anything she said?
Objection, hearsay.
What, if any, interaction did you have with Lily Rose that led to an argument with Mr. Depp?
Objection, leading.
Did you have an argument with Mr. Depp relating to Lily Rose in November 2013?
Yes.
Can you please describe that?
Well, I was, and Lily Rose at some point had a crush on a, you know.
Objection, hearsay, and lack of foundation.
It went back to being wonderful. There were these moments that just felt so wonderful.
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
You employed a woman named Kate James, is that correct?
Objection, leading.
And why is that?
She was,
Your Honor, I'm going to object on hearsay grounds. It's still hearsay.
Your Honor, I'm going to move the admission of Defendant's Exhibit 209. Business records exception.
Still hearsay, Your Honor.
I don't agree. I think that's the point that hearsay can...
my hands shake. I wake up screaming. I have to live with the trauma and the damage done to me. My friends have to live with a set of unspoken rules about how to not scare me. My intimate partners have rules about how they can deal with me, how they can touch me. I live my life with these sets of rules that I have to follow, my friends have to follow for me not to have a panic attack or a triggering event.
2 hours later.
I'm not sitting in this courtroom laughing, smiling, and making snide jokes. I'm not. This is horrible. This is painful. And this is humiliating for any human being to go through. And perhaps it's easy to forget that, but I'm a human being. And even though Johnny promised that I deserve this and promised he'd do this, I don't deserve this.
1 eternity later.
I just want Johnny to leave me alone. I just want him to leave me alone. I've said that for years now.
Ms. Heard, you just testified that this case has been very hard for you. So let's talk about that and why.
All right.
Your lies have been exposed to the world multiple times, right?
I haven't lied about anything I've been here to say.
How many times have you seen Mr. Depp use marijuana?
Too many to count. I mean, daily.
When you're working security for Mr. Depp, it's Mr. Depp and Mr. Depp alone that is your client, correct?
That is not correct.
Well, in fact, you saw Mr. Depp push or shove Whitney Heard, correct?
Absolutely not.
And it was only after Mr. Depp pushed Whitney that Amber stepped forward and punched him in the face. Isn't that right?
That is not correct.
Your next witness.
Mr. Depp calls Jack Wiggum, who should be waiting in the electronic lobby.
Okay.
Were you aware of Mr. Depp's professional reputation at the time you became his agent in October of 2016?
I would say objection leading, and I think it's going to call for hearsay.
I'll overrule at this point. Go ahead.
Johnny's reputation, in my opinion, was he was very well regarded and respected by peers in the artistic community.
Your Honor, I'm going to object. First of all, he says in his opinion, which he's not an expert witness, and second, he's now going into hearsay.
No, I'll overrule the objection. Go ahead.
Mr. Wiggum, Her Honor, you may continue.
I remember Brian Lord and myself finishing a deal that had started at the previous agency.
Objection, Your Honor. May we approach?
Okay. Hold on a minute.
What role was Mr. Depp to play in Pirate 6?
Objection calls for speculation.
I'll allow it.
And hearsay.
I'll allow it.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
In 2017, to what extent, if any, was Mr. Bruckheimer supportive of Mr. Depp remaining in the Pirates franchise?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for hearsay.
I'll sustain the objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. To what extent, if any, did Mr. Depp socialize with anyone at Disney in 2017, to the extent you know?
Objection, Your Honor.
I'll allow it to the extent he knows.
Do you know whether Mr. Depp socialized with Disney during 2017, yes or no?
Objection, Your Honor, foundation and hearsay.
I do.
If you could lay a foundation to how he knows.
And Your Honor, may we please publish this to the jury as it's been previously. Oh, it is. Thank you. How, if at all, did Ms. Heard's op-ed impact Mr. Depp's ability to land roles in studio films between December 2018 and October 2020?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for hearsay, foundation, and expert.
I'll sustain that objection. Next. Are you near the end, Mr. Chu? I just want to make sure because
I
it's
am,
coming up on
Your
our morning break. Okay.
This is an email chain with the subject line, quote, Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow won't return.
I object to him reading even from that to the jury. It's a hearsay document. He's asking questions from the hearsay document.
I'll allow that question. We'll see where we go.
Would you please explain to the jury what the message was about?
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay. Hearsay. He's asking him to essentially say.
If we want to approach for a moment.
Mr. Wiggum, did there come a time after Ms. Heard's publication of the op-ed on December 18, 2018, but before October 2020, that you learned more about Disney's plans about whether it would cast Mr. Depp in Pirate 6?
Objection, hearsay.
All right.
I'm just asking whether he...
Okay, I'll allow that.
Yes.
What, if anything, did you learn about the role Margot Robbie would be playing in Pirate 6?
I think that calls for hearsay again, Your Honor. I'm going to object.
I'll overrule the objection.
To what extent did you reach out to Jerry Bruckheimer or Sean Bailey?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for hearsay.
It does not, Your Honor.
Overruled, I'll allow it.
Thank you, Your Honor. Was your outreach to Mr. Bruckheimer and Mr. Bailey successful?
Objection leading.
I'll allow it.
No.
When was the last time You discussed Mr. Depp's role in Pirate 6 with Jerry Bruckheimer, Sean Bailey, or anyone else at Disney.
I'm going to object, Your Honor, on hearsay.
Overruled.
2019, I believe.
In addition to Pirate 6, did Mr. Depp lose other films between December 2018 and October 2020 because of Ms. Heard's op-ed?
Objection.
I'll sustain the objection.
In addition to Pirate 6, did Mr. Depp lose any other films between December 2018 and October 20?
Objection, Your Honor. First of all, I don't think he testified that he lost Pirate 6. Second of all, it's
She's now contradicting the witness's testimony, which is inappropriate.
Both of you, overruled. Let's go. Next, go ahead and answer the question. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and take our morning recess. Do not discuss the case with anybody and don't do any outside research, okay?
He's testifying to the impact of the op-ed. I think it's, in fairness, we should be able to put this in and be able to make the comparisons.
It's clearly hearsay.
Okay, I'll sustain the
It's
objection.
not offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted, Your
I'll
Honor.
sustain the objection.
Okay. Well, let's go to... So do you recall that it says in here...
Objection, hearsay, Your Honor.
Your Honor...
She's just trying to backdoor your ruling.
And the press that surrounded that case, do you recall it being focusing on things like Mr. Depp's drug and alcohol use?
I don't recall when I first read it.
I mean, it wasn't a big deal to you. You didn't read it in 2018, correct?
I have a wife, 2 kids, a full-time job. I don't remember.
Okay. And you have no idea when you first read it? I just want to make sure I understand that.
Objection, asked and answered, Your Honor. I'll sustain the
Look,
objection.
I wasn't at
I'll
Disney.
sustain the objection. Next question.
Okay.
I sustain the objection.
Okay.
Next question.
Mr. Marks, you were asked a series of questions about a number of publications and publicity related to Mr. Depp by Mr. Nadelhoff. Do you recall those questions?
He asked a lot of questions about a lot of articles.
Right, so you don't know how many people actually did the search for Johnny Depp in January 2004, correct?
Correct.
It could be 100 or it could be 1 million, right?
I don't know.
And you don't know if it's actually human beings doing these searches, correct?
As opposed to
bots or something like that.
I did not do an analysis to determine if it was a bot or a human being, but Google Trends is a tool that's going to show you during a time frame the highest point of search interest as 100.
Okay. But you don't know if it's humans, bots, my cat doing the searches, correct?
Objection, asked and answered, Your Honor.
Sustained. Next question.
Now, text allegedly sent by Johnny Depp about X read in court.
I mean, if you want to talk about these articles, we need to bring them up.
This is your opinion. You don't recall what articles you analyzed?
I mean, there's a lot of articles here. I didn't memorize each title.
There were 6 articles that you analyzed in the almost 2 years after the op-ed.
All right, can you bring those up and we can talk about them? I would be happy to discuss them if you would bring those up.
And then you previously had a chart that had articles from November 2020, correct?
If you can just answer his yes or no question.
Sorry.
That's fine.
I didn't hear your question.
You again.
All relatives.
Anyway, Johnny became upset with me for judging him. He was, you know, he said some disgusting things to me. I don't know if I need to repeat it.
Okay, let's go. Michelle, can you bring up Defendant's Exhibit 1090? Don't tell us what the co-star said. Just tell us what your communication was with Mr. Depp.
Objection, hearsay. Her communications are hearsay.
People could invite me to a concert in a platonic way. I tried to say that it was fine.
Objection,
that
hearsay.
Do I have that redaction, or is that something you need to give me?
I think we're going to need to give it to you
Okay.
hard copy.
All right,
Right.
thank
Thank you, Your Honor. And if
I found out that he was in a hotel room with Paul Bettany.
Objection, hearsay.
move forward, because
When he came home, they had to carry him home.
Objection, hearsay.
Did you see them?
I
carry
watched
him?
it.
Okay. Did you have any contact with Lily Rose that led to any discussions with Mr. Depp?
Objection, leading.
What, if any, communications did you have with Lily Rose in November 2013?
Objection, calls hearsay, leading.
What, if any, interaction did you have with Lily Rose without saying anything she said?
Objection, hearsay.
What, if any, interaction did you have with Lily Rose that led to an argument with Mr. Depp?
Objection, leading.
Did you have an argument with Mr. Depp relating to Lily Rose in November 2013?
Yes.
Can you please describe that?
Well, I was, and Lily Rose at some point had a crush on a, you know.
Objection, hearsay, and lack of foundation.
It went back to being wonderful. There were these moments that just felt so wonderful.
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
You employed a woman named Kate James, is that correct?
Objection, leading.
And why is that?
She was,
Your Honor, I'm going to object on hearsay grounds. It's still hearsay.
Your Honor, I'm going to move the admission of Defendant's Exhibit 209. Business records exception.
Still hearsay, Your Honor.
I don't agree. I think that's the point that hearsay can... What, if any, communications did you have with Kate James about your issues with Mr. Depp?
Objection, hearsay.
Your Honor, Ms. James has testified.
I'll sustain the objection.
All right, we can take that down, Michelle.
and I thought it's, you know, I would have forgotten about the extent that we had those conversations early on in the engagement if it hadn't have been for my therapist's notes.
I'm sorry, if it hadn't been for your what?
If it hadn't been for my therapist's notes, which were taken at the time when I was talking to her about this and my conversations with
Objection,
John.
hearsay.
Okay.
I'll sustain the objection.
We'll move on. Okay.
came down at the end when we were leaving, and came down once because he was at the time sharing drugs with my dad.
Objection. Speculation. Lack of foundation.
How do you know that he was sharing drugs with your dad?
I was there. I watched it.
Please continue.
My dad actually left with Johnny's security to go get more drugs from
Objection.
West
Calls for
Hollywood.
speculation.
How do you know that?
They told me.
Hearsay.
Sustain the objection.
Could you please tell the jury what a Met Gala is and what's involved in that?
Objection. Compound.
He thought I was looking at this woman in a sexual way, and I kind of turned it around on him and said that exact same
Objection.
thing.
Hearsay.
It's context, Your Honor. This is context.
Sustain the objection.
Okay. Just say what Mr. Depp said then. I guess you can't tell us what you said to him.
Okay. And Johnny shoves me and kind of grabs me by the collarbone area, like not really my neck, but top of my neck, above my collarbone, below my neck. And I feel this boot in my back. He just kicked me in the back. I fell to the floor, I caught myself on the floor, and I just felt like I was looking at the floor of the plane felt like a long time. Jury, judge, security, and my friend both kind of under their breath asked me, "Are you okay?"
Objection. Hearsay.
I spent the rest of the time looking out
I'll
of the
sustain
window.
the objection.
And
Objection. Non-responsive.
And if
Calls for speculation.
he would not remember what he had done.
Calls for speculation.
Did you reach out to...
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay and leading.
And this is a communication between you and Rocky Pennington, your best friend, is that correct?
That's correct.
Objection. Hearsay.
Did you text your mother and your father about this incident?
Objection. Hearsay.
What, if any, communication did you have with your mother or your father following this incident?
Objection. Hearsay.
Sustain that objection.
What, if any, communications did you have with Kate James following the Boston plane incident?
Objection. Hearsay.
Your Honor, if we go to 224.
Okay.
I reached out to friends and family, asked for support.
Objection. Hearsay.
Sustained.
Mental condition.
It doesn't, it's still hearsay, Your Honor. May we approach?
I'm going to ask you to turn now to 228.
Your Honor, we're going to object on hearsay.
First line, Your Honor,
Okay.
is all I understand in Your Honor's ruling, but I think
You know, on the plane, I was so careful.
Objection. Non-responsive.
what, if any, communications did you have with Stephen Duders?
Objection. Hearsay.
What, if any, communication were you having with him following the Boston plane incident?
Objection. Hearsay. May we approach?
All right.
I thought I had effectively...
Objection, Your Honor. Non-responsive. Objection. Hearsay, Your Honor.
What's in the email?
That calls for hearsay, Your Honor.
And then when he finished filming, the plan was to do
Objection,
the
Your
full
Honor.
detox.
Hearsay. And lack of foundation.
I was involved in the conversations
Please
with the doctors and with his sister.
Objection,
and
Your Honor,
nurse.
that's still hearsay.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
That part is. So,
They put Johnny on a bunch of new medications, which they shared with me, told me about.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
He was taking about double the amount.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
was
No, I
this your
saw, I
observation?
saw it.
Okay, overruled.
Thank you.
At one point in our conversations, I told him about how,
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
you know, we're on an island. I'm trying to take care of him, and he was hallucinating. And
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
I hadn't said anything. I would tell him, Johnny,
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Well, I think in the context, Your Honor, it's not offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted. Did you have communications with Mr. Depp about auditioning for another role in this time frame?
Objection, Your Honor. I'm going to object to the exhibit as hearsay.
I don't see him anymore. I don't see him anymore. It wasn't him. It was black.
Dr. Curry, if you, I mean, Dr. Hughes, I don't know why I keep doing that. My apologies. Dr. Hughes, I think it's the confusion of having her in the courtroom. Just let us know you're consulting your notes, okay? The concern is that you not read from them, that you consult them as you need to, okay?
Correct. I just don't want this to be a memory test of having conducted many documents, 80 pages of notes,
But you-
and
you
12
can-
psychological testings to...
You can reference your notes, just don't read from them, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, great. So please tell us what documents you reviewed. Please tell the jury.
So Dr. Bonnie Jacobs was Miss Heard's therapist, and may I refresh my recollection with my notes, Your Honor?
She's allowed to
For the
consult
dates,
her notes.
if you'd like me to tell the dates.
If she's asking me a question,
Oh,
I'm not going to answer.
You're right. Yes.
May I?
Yes, you may consult your notes, yes.
Objection, Your Honor.
Can we be heard?
So I am going to refer to my designation that has the list so that I don't forget anything.
Okay.
So I administered...
Objection, hearsay, Your Honor.
She can refresh her recollection.
As long as she's not reading it.
Right, you just can't read. You're not supposed to read from it, but you can refresh your recollection as you're speaking.
So I can look and just look up, and that's refreshing my recollection? Okay.
All right, if we could approach for a moment.
And what did they show?
Would like to refer to the testing?
To refresh
To
your
refresh
recollection?
my recollection, just a glance, so
Yes,
I can
you may
be
do that.
clear with the jury. So what the overall gist of the testing was that, and what...
Objection, Your Honor. We're back to reading.
She wasn't even looking down. She was looking at the jury.
And then finally, Amber Heard wrote an email talking about how distressed and heartbroken she was.
Objection, hearsay.
I mean, I don't agree.
I know it. Sustained. I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
All right. Can you give another example
I think those are all I can remember at this point.
Okay. What if any,
And Dr. Anderson saw 2 bruises on her face and told me my husband kicked me and he pushed me and he punched me in the head. And should I call the police?
Objection, Your Honor.
What should I
Hearsay.
do?
she's not reading, Your Honor. She's just saying the significance.
Sustain the objection. Next
Okay.
question.
Why didn't Amber Heard leave the relationship sooner?
I mean, you know why.
Objection, speculation, Your Honor.
Have you formed, based on your experience and based on your 29 hours of clinical evaluation of Amber Heard, what is your understanding of why Amber Heard didn't leave the relationship earlier?
Objection beyond the scope of the disclosure.
It clearly is not. I mean, it's clearly in the disclosure. Point to where you say it's not. I mean,
Point to where you say it's not.
You're-
Could you come forward?
And what is your profession?
I am an actor, mostly.
Okay.
I am here because my ex-husband is suing me for an op-ed I wrote.
And how do you feel about that?
I struggle to have the words.
Thank you. Tell us where you grew up. Do you remember the first time that he physically hit you?
Yes.
Please tell the jury about it.
It was so. I didn't realize at the time, but I think he was using cocaine because it was like there was a jar of cocaine out on the table. I realize that sounds weird, but it was like an actual vintage jar of it. Slapped me across the face, and I laughed. I laughed because I was just sitting there on this carpet, looking at the dirty carpet, wondering how I wound up on this carpet and why I never noticed that the carpet was so filthy before, and I just didn't know what else to do. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to react. I just sat there thinking, how much time do I have till I figure out what I need to do? Because God, did he just hit me? I know you can't hit a woman. You can't hit a man. You can't hit anyone. You can't just hit somebody because I knew it was wrong, and I knew that I had to leave him. And I had never seen an adult man cry.
So you stayed, correct? You stayed in the relationship?
Yes.
Okay. So
we walk in. Meanwhile, I've been bombarded by text messages and calls and conversations with everyone seemingly so stressed about...
Objection, hearsay.
did you end up sending a copy of this picture to Rocky Pennington that day?
I did. I sent it to my best friend at the time, and, it was like, look at my morning.
Objection, hearsay.
Okay, you can't say what you said, but you sent it to your friend, correct?
I
Let's
sent
go
it
to
to my friend.
167, please.
My dog stepped on a bee. We went to the vet and went on with our, vacation. We actually went to another location after that, and then eventually went home and.
All right. There he is. That's awesome. See your song? Awesome. Thanks. See you.
Oh, I see her,
Why you do that bed? There she goes. Oh. Oh, you suck.
You cannot testify that Johnny Depp was not abused, can you?
I can testify that he had physical acts of violence perpetrated on him as well as psychological aggressive acts perpetrated upon him.
No further questions.
Mr. Depp had his penis out of his
Objection.
pants, didn't he? And then you went in the house and saw Mr. Depp in the foyer, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Depp was trying to urinate in the foyer, wasn't he?
No.
Next question.
And you were trying to get Mr. Depp. You didn't know what could cause damage to Mr. Depp's hand while you were there on March 8th, correct?
Dr. Kipper told me.
Well, objection, hearsay.
Wait, you asked the question.
Oh.
In my head, I was like, you think someone's trying to get into your unit? That was the dog trying to get into the unit.
What was the photograph of Mr. Depp?
It was a photograph of the bed, and on my side of the bed was human fecal matter.
Was she friendly to you in each of these hundreds of times?
Yes. I'm not gonna say no.
She's giving you gifts over $8,500, correct?
You give me a lot more than that.
And on line 11, are you there? Do you have the document up?
Online?
No, I'm sorry. Is it in your hand? Great.
Yes.
Did I read that right?
You did, sir. I was drinking.
You were drinking pretty heavily.
Were you there?
Did I read that right?
You did. You should read the article. It's
And the last one, did I read that right?
You read that very, very well.
The next one.
Slapped me across the face. And I laughed. Proceeds to do a cavity search. Like, just shoved his fingers inside me.
No.
As I'm walking away, I walk away from him. My back is turned to him, and I feel this boot. He just kicked me in the back. And
Mental condition.
If the
Please. Have you seen Mr. Depp take any drugs by this point?
oh yeah, sorry if I left that out. I'm looking at him in his eyes, and I don't see him anymore. It wasn't him. It was black. I've never been so scared in my life.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Say to him in some way. I don't want to do this. Johnny took his penis out of his pants.
Wait, what?
I lose my balance. At this point, we're sitting next to each other on the edge of the couch, or I was on the edge of the couch. I was just sitting there on this carpet, looking at the dirty carpet, wondering how I wound up on this carpet, why I never noticed that the carpet was so filthy before.
How old are you, Amber?
I am 36. I just celebrated.
Okay. And do you have a daughter?
I do. She also celebrated her birthday recently. She's 1.
Okay.
I was walking out of the bedroom, slapped me across the face. I turned to look at him. And I said, Johnny, you hit me. You just hit me.
Just do it split screen so we can start, please. Go ahead.
Paul Bettany's a good friend that you've done drugs with, right?
That's a strange question. Where's he gone?
Did I read that right?
You certainly did, yes, sir.
You just want to look at his highlighted copy.
Oops, I touched the screen horribly.
No, that was you. It's okay.
Reflecting a different time than when they were actually sent.
Objection foundation calls for speculation.
Oh,
You agree with that, right?
I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. Right after, I won't give you anything to argue with me yet. You sustained an injury. Yesterday, you texted, I'm sorry. We've seen a lot of texts today.
It's all right, I did text someone yesterday. Whatever, where she could be, photographs. Sorry? Thank you, Mr. Rottenborn.
A recording where Miss told you that you vomit in your sleep a lot. Do you remember that recording?
Yes, I do.
What's your response to that?
When someone tells you that you vomit, she didn't tell me. I heard it in court. I think the first thing that I would do is seek medical attention.
Did I read that right?
Yes, you did.
Mr. Depp, if you could please take a look at the stack of articles in front of you.
Yes, it's a stack of hit pieces.
Yes, the first one is called
by Ms. Heard's publicity team.
We're going to try to get through this as quickly as possible. Correct?
That's what it says, yes, sir.
It's entitled Johnny Depp. Friends and family seriously concerned about him. Here's why.
Yes.
Correct?
How did they know?
The next article, did I read that right?
You did, reportedly.
Mr.
This
Depp.
is a pathetic attempt.
Mr. Depp, please just respond to the question that I'm asking you.
What's your
The next question,
Mr.
the
Rottenborn?
next, Johnny Depp's financial woes might sink the next Pirates of the Caribbean. Did I read that right?
You did. I don't know
The
how
next
my
article,
financial woes would do
May
that.
did I read that right?
You read that very, very well.
The next, did I read that right?
You certainly did. This is hearsay. is
June
it not?
21st,
Your favorite
2018,
word.
22nd, 2018. Did I read that correctly?
You did. Who's Alison Boshoff?
Mr. Depp, you,
Oh, it
a
won't
single,
answer that, I see.
you understood that she became associated with those same accusations that she made, correct? You testified to that.
Well, she had a choice. I didn't.
You just touch it, it'll make a mark, so you don't have to touch the top, that's fine.
Do I touch
No.
something on menu here?
No.
Whitney, who calls me her spirit animal. Isaac, spirit animal. Hey, listen, I'm not feeling so hot, and I love you, but stop.
We walked out of the trailer at some point. My dog stepped on a bee.
When is Miss Heard's birthday?
Back in Pirates.
We can move on.
If you want to, just
So I can read it out of someone's article, but not from the man's mouth. Was given was to not to fight.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay. I think it's a pretty simple yes or no question.
You'd like it to be, sir. Nothing simple in this case.
Other-
October is 2 months before December. That's correct.
If Disney came to you with $300 million and 1 million alpacas, nothing on this earth would get you to go back and work with Disney.
That
Correct?
is true, Mr. Rottenborn.
This was a document that you signed as part of your divorce proceedings, correct?
That's my signature indeed, yes.
Mr. Depp, that is your signature on the right, correct?
Yes, it is.
This is a document you signed, right?
For the third time, that is my signature, yes.
Good. And that was a document you signed in August of 2016.
Is that the same one that I signed 3 times before? So what you would like for him to cook? That's hearsay, I guess. I'm learning. Yes, I looked at papers. Maybe they're hearsay papers.
You poured yourself a mega pint of red wine.
A mega pint?
I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury. I have other uses for your throat which do not include injury.
Sorry, could you read that again?
You would sometimes drink whiskey in the mornings too, right?
Isn't happy hour any time?
I loved him so much.
Treating physician for Mr. Depp and then later for Miss Heard. And so Dr. Bonnie Jacobs was Miss Heard's therapist, and may I refresh my recollection with my notes, Your Honor?
She's allowed to
For the
consult the
dates,
notes.
if you'd like me to tell the dates.
If she's asking me a question, I'm not going to answer.
You're right, Your Honor. Yes.
May I?
Objection, Your Honor.
After all that month of not seeing each other, not getting better, not getting clean and sober, there wasn't even, I didn't, you know, it was. It was falling apart. I knew I had to leave him. I knew I wouldn't survive it.
Another day. Why did you file for divorce?
Because I knew if I didn't, I'd likely not literally survive.
You not be for real. Oh my God, you for real. No, you for fake. No, you for real. You lying.
I wouldn't have done anything. But I couldn't do that one thing. I couldn't stay. The promise and the hope that I had become less and less regular and more rare. The monster had been this thing that was now the normal and not the exception. The violence was now normal and not the exception. It was so hard. It was so hard, but I knew I had to do it. I believe he would have taken it too far. I wouldn't be here.
Why did you ask for a domestic violence temporary restraining order?
I wanted to change my lives.
Bruh.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Those are relatives, all relatives.
Thank you, Your Honor. Amber, when did the first act of physical violence by Mr. Depp occur?
Objection asked and answered.
I'm about to beat this bitch up.
Overruled. Good.
That would have been early 2012.
And how did you determine this?
I reviewed my therapist's
Objection,
notes.
hearsay.
How do you remember the first act of violence?
Well, you never forget it. That's how I remember it. It changes your life forever. You never forget the first time someone hits you like that. I just had the date wrong.
Now, what, if anything, did Mr. Depp say to you or ask you about how you got those cuts on your arms?
Nothing.
What, if anything, did you ever witness Mr. Depp self-injuring himself?
Often. He did that often.
Please tell the jury about that. What did he do?
He often, in fights, would cut his arms or hold a knife to his chest or draw blood superficially at first, but later, like in 2016, especially as our relationship was ending, he also put cigarettes out on himself.
427:55. I'd like to move the admission, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, 345 A and F.
I was gonna pour you one.
I'm an alcoholic. You should.
Lie.
And that you punched me in the
You're
fucking thing, and you
figured
in
it
the
out.
face, and you said, "No, fucking, no, I didn't. What the fuck are you talking about?"
I'm sorry that I didn't
You
hit
punched
you
me.
across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
Oh,
That's
you-
the difference
you
between
poor
me
girl.
and you. You're a fucking baby.
Because you start
You
physical
are
fights.
such a baby.
Because
Grow
you-
the fuck up.
Because you start
Johnny.
physical.
Amber, please explain to the jury what's transpiring in that audio recording, what that's about.
Where I'm talking about hitting him, I am talking about what that conversation is about the disparity. The disparity between Johnny and I in our physical fights. The disparity of how he would proactively punch me and I would have to resort to reactively hitting him. I am talking about the difference between a punch, which Johnny did often, and me having to hit him in my defense. And I put on a face, and we finished the evening with the guests, and then more fighting happened afterwards.
So we talked about December 15, 2000. This is from December 15, I believe. Could you just please tell the jury what this depicts?
Yes, it's a picture of my bruised temple and Johnny.
And this is from February 10, 2016. And I'm going to ask you to play it, Michelle.
Motherfucker! Motherfucker!
What happened? Nothing happened this.
Did something happen to you this morning? I don't think so.
No, that's the thing.
You want to see crazy? I'll give you fucking crazy. That's crazy. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're crazy.
Have you drunk this whole thing this morning?
Oh, you got this going. You got this going?
I just started it.
Oh, really? Really?
And you were smashing shit.
Bye.
I was afraid. It was scary. That's scary. Scared. Scared they wouldn't remember.
Objection calls for speculation.
Sustained.
701 was shown to Haddon only, and that was Exhibit 30 in his deposition.
Thank you for watching, guys, and that was the final clip. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like down below, leave a comment, let us know what you think about this whole situation, and let us know if you are happy with the outcome. Once again, guys, thank you for watching. Have a good day.